Welcome to The Project. Tonight, it's been more than 2 decades since the Bali bombings, but now there's a move to honour the Aussie lives lost. But is it too little too late?
Why trans ban in women's sport debate has been sparked by the opposition leader.
Should you offer tradies tea and treats? We're spilling the tea on the in-house etiquette.
Plus, it's a blossoming bromance between Rove and Robbie Williams.
Whoa.
See it all unfold on the AACTAs red carpet.
That is right. We are live from the lands of the Kulin Nation with Queen Liz Ellis and Claire Hooper.
Wow. Who else is Rove kissed on this panel? Yep.
I mean...
Oh, yeah, a couple of the camera crew as well.
Yeah, great
He
in the
needed
audience.
a box, but anyway.
Just so
to stand
right.
on, I'll make that clear.
We are going to check in with Mr. McManus later on in the show, but before that, let's get into today's top stories. And Sam Kerr's pregnant fiancé is set to face more questions tonight when Sam's racial harassment trial resumes in London. Christy Muse has already cried in court, testifying she feared for her life during that dispute with the taxi driver in 2023. And as the court was shown more body cam footage, Kerr admitted she was abusive to police, but she denied using an officer's whiteness as an insult.
You're literally a white privileged person.
Understand what
I'm
you're
not
saying.
paying for some dodgy window. He deserves it. I'm not paying for it. I'll sit here till 4 a.m. in the morning and get the Chelsea lawyers on these.
For more than 20 years, those connected to the Bali bombings have been waiting for a memorial where they can mourn and reflect. Now, that dream could finally about to become a reality.
The 12th of October 2002.
Ground zero.
A date seared into the hearts and minds of Australians everywhere.
There's people dead, there's everything.
The Bali bombings killed 202 people, among them 88 Aussies. For more than 20 years, the main bombing site, the popular Sari Club, has remained a wasteland, most visitors having no idea of its significance.
It's just a messy pit, an appalling sight for anyone that's lost loved ones to go and look there and try and pay their respects.
Now, finally, the local Balinese government has announced it's purchased the site, families hoping it will lead to a long-awaited memorial peace park.
A peaceful place where people can learn what happened, grieve privately rather than in public in front of the memorial. It will be our quiet spot.
Jan Lazinski was holidaying with mates in Kuta back in 2002. His decision to return to Australia a day earlier than planned saved his life. 5 of his friends died in the attack.
I said goodbye to my mates. I never saw my mates again.
After years of back and forth about how best to memorialise the site, Jan's hoping loved ones will finally have a peaceful place to reflect and remember.
When I first heard the news, I didn't believe it. I actually sat down and thought, wow, finally, for the families of those people who are lost, they've got a special place to remember.
Keith Pearce's son Dwayne was with his Kingsley Football Club teammates in the Sari Club when the bomb went off. His son survived, but 7 of his teammates didn't. Keith, it's good to have you with us. How do you and your son look back at that night?
Well, it's a long time ago, but it's just yesterday. It's still, a very sad memory.
Oh, I can imagine. It must be so traumatic when, all this comes back to you at times like this. But the hurdle of the site sale has been overcome, which is a great thing. What are you hoping will happen next?
Well, we're hoping that the Badung Regency goes ahead with the plan that they showed us in March last year and builds a substantial presence there, a museum as well as a peace park that tells the story of Bali, the island of peace that it used to be, the story of the bombing, how that disrupted everything, how Bali's recovered from it, and how the bombing never actually achieved anything. It never changed anything, and that shows that terrorism doesn't work. And the whole concept is not a memorial, it's a museum that tells the story and points to the fact that terrorism never changes anything.
Keith, why is this memorial so important?
Well, there is a memorial there, but a memorial is just a a list of names of the people that died. This will actually tell the stories of some of those that didn't survive, those that did survive, the families and what they went through, but also will be holding out a point for the future to say the terrorists didn't achieve anything. Terrorism doesn't work. And that's the whole idea of this, is to have a museum to show what happened, but also to show that the way forward isn't through terrorism, it's through negotiations.
Keith, going back to that awful night, were there times that you worried that you'd lost your son, you'd lost Dwayne?
We were lucky. We didn't know about the bombing until we already knew that Dwayne was safe. In fact, we got told Dwayne was safe and we were thinking, safe from what? And then we found out about the bombing. So we were very fortunate. We were spared the anxiety and the anguish of so many others.
If this memorial park does get built, do you and Dwayne have plans to visit?
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. We don't want to just visit. We want to have a bit of a say in what actually goes there.
Keith, do you have any concerns about what might not happen, or that you might not get the park you want?
Well, from the discussions we had with the Badung Regency in March last year, I don't think that that's going to be a problem. I think they are definitely going to go ahead with it. If they do it in the way in which they discussed with us at that time, then I'm very confident it will be something that everybody in Australia will be very happy with.
Keith, thank you so much for your time.
Time for a break. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the project.
Now, let me take you on an aquatic auditory discovery. It turns out we're one step closer to learning what whales have to say for themselves, and we humans may not be as cute and special as we think.
For decades, scientists have been trying to speak whale.
Some whales can be so loud, they're louder than an aeroplane taking off. Really low frequency sounds which travel long distances across the ocean.
But much like a baby trying to decipher adults, it's been impossible to understand what the heck whales are banging on about.
We would all like to know what they're talking about, but the reality is we just don't know at this stage.
Now, in a world first, one group of experts has made a whale decoding breakthrough. To understand whale talk, they realise you must think like a baby.
Infants learn language by listening for sounds that are unexpectedly coming after other sounds. Eventually, they learn that that's probably where a word is. And that seems to be what's happening with whale song.
After analysing 8 whole years of whale tunes, they discovered whale song follows a universal law of human language. Just like our common words the and, our friends of the deep have sounds they use repeatedly too.
This has not been found in any other species. We thought that it was unique to human language. We were really, really shocked.
So, whales have basically been caught using the same secret source for communication as us humans. Turns out, is surprisingly close to...
Thank God it's Friday, am I right?
So, does this mean we can talk whale now?
No, we have no idea if there is any underlying meaning to the sounds in whale song. We actually are reasonably confident that the song is a display.
Human language and whale song serving slightly different roles.
Humpback whales are kind of like the Pavarottis of the sea because they produce sound when it comes to breeding. And so we think that their sexy repertoires might be in the interest of females, which might hear that sound and then swim on over.
So maybe these whales keep their chat in code because...
Are they talking dirty?
I think after a couple of glasses of shardy, I sound like I'm speaking whale. It just doesn't, things don't make sense. But if you could speak to a whale, what would you ask them?
What would I ask?
Yeah.
We actually don't have long enough in this program because I find this fascinating. No, I'm being serious.
Really?
I find this Fascinating. Imagine what they know. They
I'd
would
ask
know
them where
so
Harold
much.
Holt's gone.
That's a good one.
good, also good.
I'm a potty mouth, so I'd ask them how to swear.
Oh,
how to
in
swear in
Wales.
Wales.
In
That would be
Wales.
so good. Imagine
Yeah.
being able to swear at your children in Wales and they wouldn't know.
Where the necklace is from the Titanic. I need to know
Oh.
that. How deep is the bottom of the ocean? Like exactly what is down there? What are the freaky crabs and crustaceans and fish? What is down there and why can't we never see it? And why do we know more about space than we do about the deep sea? Anyway, I've lost you both, but the whales and I would be having a great chat.
But did they, I mean, if it's just dirty talk, is that what we've all been using as sleep tapes this whole time? It's so, I mean, it does put me to sleep.
You're blowing my brain. Oh, God, I can't even.
All right, we've got to go to a break. We just need to discuss this more. We'll see you after this. This is the Project. Welcome back.
Our next guest is a stand-up comedian who has become a surprise Diet Cola activist.
Do you realise how hard it's become to get a can of Diet Coke in this city? I've got a safe injecting room in my suburb. It's easier for me to get heroin than a can of DC. Honestly, it's like a controlled substance. I've been to 3 places today. They said, do you want Coke? No sugar. I said, no, I don't. They said, but it tastes like real Coke. I said, I don't want it to taste like Coke. I want it to taste like hardened chemicals, the ones you raised me on.
Here he is now, Hunter Smith. Oh, terrific.
I feel like I'm crashing ladies' night. People are going to flick over and think they're watching Charlie's Angels.
Wow. You weren't kidding about how much you loved Diet Coke, were you?
I'm all in on DC.
Well, people... Am I right hearing it right that someone gifted you some for your wedding?
Yes, the DC played a big... There she is there. What a gorgeous photo. That's me and the love of my life and my new husband.
Yeah. Why do you love it so much?
Why do I love it so much? It's guilt-free.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
It has a sort of indescribable amount of chemicals that are doing who knows what to you. It's a thrill, Georgie. It's a thrill.
And you're addicted?
Oh, I'm addicted.
Yeah.
Are you I was a bit worried that you would judge me, Liz, with your athlete eyes.
Yeah,
You know, I thought,
I know.
But, you know...
Not at all.
Not at all. You're on board?
I haven't been an athlete for years. I'm all over it.
Hunter, your new show is called Bush Ranger?
Bush Ranger.
Are you turning to a life of crime?
Oh, you wish, jellyfish. No, it's called Bush Ranger because I've just found out that I'm related to Ned Kelly, the ultimate bush ranger.
No way.
Hang on, how?
Okay, Waleed with the hard-hitting questions. I didn't really want to get into how because it's a little complicated / revolting.
Okay.
What it is that my great-great-grandmother was Ned's first cousin / lover.
Oh.
That's not cute. I know it's not cute. I'm not proud of it. But think of it, me, guys. Like, I'm the real victim here because it's been my lifelong dream to appear on the Family Tree show Who Do You Think You Are?
Oh my gosh.
But that's not going to happen now, is it?
Because you...
No one's going to tune in to see how my family made the great journey from Parramatta to Pakenham just to find out that I descended from kissing cousins. No way. Not on the ABC. Or is it SBS?
It's SBS.
Oh,
SBS.
I love it.
That'll be fine.
Stinks at SBS. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Hang on, this is quite shocking news, though.
It's very shocking.
So shocking to you, but was it also shocking to your friends, your family?
So I thought it would give me great bragging rights because, you know, when it comes to white Australians, Ned Kelly's right up there, you know. I think it goes descended from the First Fleet, related to Ned Kelly, related to someone on maths.
Yes.
They're the big 3. So fingers crossed for the rest. Yeah.
Yes.
No, but my friends couldn't give a rat's, George.
Really?
Nah. All my friends, they're sort of in their 30s, they've got kids. You know what it's like, Claire. Yeah. I haven't heard from them in years, if I'm honest. I haven't. Even the gay guys now are having kids. I've got kids, all the gays have got kids, which I support, obviously, but it can be a lot, can't it?
Yeah.
You know? The names, you know. My gay friends, all right, they're either naming their kids after minor European royals, think like Lady Esmeralda, Tarquin, that sort of thing, or, and this is much worse, they're naming them after pop stars. Gauche. I've got a friend, he's got twins. Guess what he's called them?
Taylor and Swift?
Kylie and Danny.
Oh, right.
Kylie and Danny, can you believe that?
That is so...
that
do you have to say that?
I said we all love them and eggs, mate, but we're not naming our kids after them, you know.
But hang on, you have kids. I won't get you to name them now. How do they deal with the fact that, you know, maybe in their future they're going to be as interested in you to follow the family tree and they'll find out that they've got some criminals?
Nah, I've tried to get them interested, George. They also could not give a rat's. My daughter, though, she's a smart cookie. She's only 6, going on 36. Right? She was hanging around the other day and she knows that she's an IVF baby, right? Yes. Because she's met me. And she was hanging around, she was having a bit of a tantrum. I said, all right, mate, calm down. She gets a bit more aggro. I said, oi, we didn't raise a whinger. And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, Dad, if you didn't want a whinger, you shouldn't have used the whinging sperm. Can you believe that? I said, that's it, go to your room. She said, no. I said, go to your room. She said, no. I said, Charlie XCX, go to your room.
Yes. You are tackling the big issues.
Yeah. All the big issues, mate. All the big issues. Do you want another one?
Yeah.
Ice cream flavours. They're getting out of hand.
Hang on. Hang on a minute.
There's too many of them, Claire.
There's no such thing as too many flavours.
No, there is. I mean, I'm a pretty progressive guy, but it turns out when it comes to ice cream, I'm Pauline Hanson. Like, I went into a hipster shop the other day, right? I was like, what is this? I ordered a strawberry. It wasn't strawberry. You know what it was? Oh. Chili and pork fat. What? Can you believe that?
In an ice cream?
Yeah, is that even legal?
That's like a whole meal.
Exactly. I said, mate, that's not an ice cream flavour. That's just two things you found in the bin. Like,
Did you eat it?
no, I didn't eat it. Of course not. Then I tried to get Nutella, and he said, it's Nutella, but it's got cheese in it.
Oh,
I know.
no.
I said, if I wanted to do something that I knew I'd regret and smelled vaguely of cheese, I'd go and visit my racist nan.
Yeah. We have covered all of the issues tonight, my goodness. And tickets for Hunter's new show are available now. Thank you for coming on. Head to our website for more information. Would you please thank Hunter Smith?
Do not miss Bushranger. Now, guys, the weekend smorgasbord of sport is here. You're welcome in advance, so stretch your glutes, scull your Gatorade, because it's time for... With us is NBA showman Lance Stevenson, underwater rugby enthusiast Mana Imano, and sports goddess Lavender Bai. Lance, I'm starting with you. You're in Melbourne at Australia's biggest hoops festival, the Summer Jam. What's happening there?
Oh, we having fun. We got everybody here. We got the best street bowlers. We got Joey playing. We about to have fun, man. I'm excited.
Can we actually see? I know that the Summer Jam has a dunk competition. Can we see some action behind you?
Okay. We're about to show you something right now. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that was what? Yeah, come on, man.
Okay.
We got everything out here, man.
Are you in charge of judging, Lance?
I'm in charge of judging, and we got nice dunkers out here, so y'all go see some. Y'all go see some exclusive dunks soon.
Oh, I have absolutely no doubt with you in charge. Next up, we're going to Mana Imano, who is in Wagga and is getting absolutely drenched for us. Now, Mana, you're an underwater rugby competitor. Yeah, but do you actually just play normal rugby and it's just pissing down with rain the entire time?
Pretty much. I think we might change our sport up now that we're here in the torrential rain.
Mana, in all seriousness, how do you play underwater rugby?
So, essentially underwater rugby, the best way to describe it is we're talking about maybe 3D tackle basketball played upside down in a dive pool, 3 to 5 metres underwater.
What about for spectators and fans like coming to watch you this weekend? How do they enjoy it?
So we have a lane, if you can see behind me, there is a lane cut off. You're allowed to jump in, have a watch. Obviously, it's not a great spectator sport from outside the water, but everyone's allowed to get in, have a look underwater. We have masks, we have snorkels, we have fins, that's what we do.
Mana, you're doing your best impersonation of a weather presenter right now. Is there a cyclone where you are?
No, I think it's just Wagga. That's the best way to describe it, right?
Well, you're doing very, very well. Let's head to Lavender Bai, who's here to talk all things Ange Postecoglou. Lav, Tottenham lost again this morning, 4-0 to Liverpool.
They did.
I mean, I hate to ask, but does this mean that Ange is going to get the sack this weekend?
I mean, personally, I hope not. But if we look at the statistics, Tottenham have had like 16 managers in 24 years or something ridiculous like that. So I don't really think that the odds are in Ange's favour that they're going to keep him around for too much longer.
Where did it all go wrong?
I think this is where it gets interesting because Tottenham haven't lifted a trophy. I'll put it into perspective. Last time they lifted a trophy, the iPhone did not exist in Australia. So the fact that they think that in 2 seasons Ange can come in and win them something may be a bit rich.
If he is shown the door, where do you think he'll go?
I mean, maybe underwater rugby. It looks like that's the new hottest sport.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because a bit of a spicy question to end things for me, maybe a stormy one. Do you think that Sam Kerr will still be Matilda's captain, whatever happens with the court case?
I mean, if she doesn't, does this mean that we've suddenly decided that there's like a morality clause on being in leadership in a team sport? Because if that's the case, I think every other Australian sporting code needs to maybe get that memo. I think if Sam Kerr is the point where we draw a line in the sand and say, hey, we're no longer operating on if you're good at kicking a footy, you can get away with whatever you want, that's fine. But I think there are a lot of other men that are going to wake up tomorrow without a job if that's the case.
Lav, I love your take. Before we let you all go, Lance, I got to get back to you at the Summer Jam because I actually hear that you perform. You're a bit of a rapper. Can we get a bit of a sample?
Oh, man, look at me, shots with all the bras. I done bought the bar, Hollywood. I'm with all the stars. I got all the cars. Universal, we just flew from Mars. Like it's no tomorrow. Balling on them, almost quarter charge. Check my order, ma. No time for no. All right. I can't give you everything. I can't give you everything. That was just something light, man.
Yeah. Keep some in reserve. Keep some in reserve for the weekend. Lance, Manna, Lavender, thank you so much. Manna, get dry.
All right.
Back to today's top story. Opposition leader Peter Dutton has hinted at his support for banning trans athletes in sports just a day after a similar move by Donald Trump, rekindling one of the most contentious issues today.
In the lead up to the election, the opposition leader is telling personal stories.
It was that sort of quintessential outer suburban upbringing.
Attacking the government.
I think it's been one of the most shameful periods of leadership or lack thereof that I've seen in my lifetime.
And leaning into hot button culture wars.
I think it's one of those debates that we have to be honest in, and it's not about discriminating against anyone, including young girls.
On Sky News, Peter Dutton offered his thoughts on trans athletes in women's sports.
For young girls not to be able to achieve their Olympic dream, their pathway to a World Cup, or to be displaced from a team because, somebody has a physiological advantage over them. That's not in the spirit of sport.
It's an argument familiar to Hannah Mounsey, banned from playing in the women's AFL. She switched to handball and represented Australia at an elite level.
You need to ask, where is the evidence of this happening? It isn't. There's no evidence of it. There's no evidence that there is a physiological advantage. There's no studies, there's no peer-reviewed research, there's none of that going into it. So this is all assumptions.
Dutton's comments came just hours after Donald Trump signed an order banning transgender women and girls from competing in female sports.
With this executive order, the war on women's sports is over.
The mood is very different now, and very noticeably so. If I were to go and try and play VFL football again like I did 7 or 8 years ago, or AFL football, I wouldn't do it. It's not safe. Because people know where you are, they'll come and attack you, and they'll come to kill you.
President Trump's recent order wasn't his first in this area. On his first day in office, he issued a similar executive order.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
That's a claim widely disputed by both scientists and historians, but was mirrored by Dutton when asked about gender treatment for young people.
We know that there are 2 sexes, and we know that for many families this is a very confronting debate.
30 or 40 years ago, everyone was terrified of AIDS and HIV, and a lot of people were incredibly homophobic towards gay men in particular, and they were scared of what they didn't know. And that's exactly what's happening now. Where we are with trans people is where we were with the gay community 40 years ago.
It's a bit of a vexed issue, isn't it? And it's so difficult, it's so nuanced, and we've only got a couple of minutes to talk about it now. But I just want to give you a little bit of context. So it's hard to get stats on how many trans athletes there are, really particularly in high performance sport. But of 500,000 college athletes in America, there are fewer than 10 who publicly identify as trans. So it's not a tsunami we're talking about, but this is an issue that should be debated and discussed. And I think you've got to include not only, you've got to make sure that trans people have a safe place to play sport, and there's probably a difference in thinking between what happens at community level and what happens at high performance level. But you also need to make sure that young women and that parents feel safe as well. So there's quite a nuanced conversation that's got to happen. Yes. And I don't know that talking about bans is is part of that nuance.
Yeah. Well, we're also still, we are figuring it out. The sports, the codes themselves, they are trying to build frameworks and guidelines. And if you take it at face value and what they say, they're trying to do that with the research as it comes in and with science as it comes in as well. Another stat that I find is very, very telling. An Australian study has found that young LGBTQIA+ Aussies are 50% less likely to be part of a sporting club than non-LGBTQIA+ youth. And that for me is heartbreaking because sport needs to be a safe place for everyone. And I just think that you have these conversations, and I'm not saying that you can't have them. There's just a way to have these conversations, and that's not what they're seeing. And they're just told again and again that sport is not for them. And that is the furthest thing from the truth, because that is where you build community, that is where you build friendships that hopefully will last you for the rest of your life.
And I think things do I think that's a real community sport thought. You do have to accept that there is probably a bit more science and research, as Hannah just alluded to be done around high-performance sport. And that's where the science probably isn't settled yet. But I think, sports administrators need to follow the science, and the Australian Sports Commission has a set of guidelines out about it to help sports sort of navigate this. It's a really difficult place to navigate.
It is. To more news now, and things are getting slithery in Queensland. In just 12 hours last night, paramedics treated 6 suspected snake bites. It seems our reptile friends are pretty active right now. There have been floods, breeding season's just finished, and I mean, Liz Claire, did you see that mega nest in Sydney that we reported on yesterday? That was some vision of it there. Snake catchers are urging us to use a little bit more common sense.
I regularly do the face palm thing. The amount of times per week that we get sent photos or videos of people letting their kid pick up a snake, saying, "Hey, can you tell me what this snake is that my son's holding?" And it's an eastern brown. And
Don't touch those ones. And are you sick of sitting through all those ads and trailers at the movies? Well, apparently you're not alone. An American state senator wants a law that forces theatres to include the actual start time of those films on their schedules. Martin Looney says it's an abuse of people's time and cinema goers should have the choice of when to arrive.
Oh my goodness.
Do you need to know, Claire?
Well, it's a bit, aren't like the previews and the ads part of the fun?
Yes.
Like they're the point where you get the chop top done so that you're ready to enjoy the movie without cellophane crinkling, right? Like
that is true.
But so you're a lovely cinema goer then. You are actually courteous and you think about those things.
Thank
and
you
you
so
don't
much.
just wait like others who are like, oh good, the credits. And you're like, you had just 20 minutes to just do that.
I love the trailers though. It's like all the movies that you can see that you're never actually going to go and look at, but you might. That would be good fun to go and see.
I just love the fact that there's a guy that's gone to the movies and gone, there's not enough laws in here.
That time we fixed it.
There must be more laws in all the fun places.
Oh, you're watching The Project. It's a fun place. We'll be back in a moment. Watching The Project.
Now, the AACTA Awards, otherwise known as the Aussie Oscars, are upon us with screen legend Russell Crowe on hosting duties. In the film department, Robbie Williams' Better Man and Mad Max Furiosa are expected to win big. Boy Swallows Universe is tipped as the television show to beat. Now, our man Rove was on the red carpet and we got to speak to him a little earlier.
Rove, it's a big night for the Robbie Williams biopic Better Man. Now, he's right there with you. You've managed to get hold of the big man and the better man. What are you guys chatting about? How's he feeling?
He's saying that he smells like gravy. Do you want the actual truth? Robbie thinks he smells like gravy.
I've had a spray tan, and it goes up to 10, but then they developed a 12. And I went, yeah, give me the 12, because I got getting a flight from London to Australia. And 12 smells like gravy.
So I would have thought the giveaway is this bit here.
How am I getting on with this bit?
It's great. It's just an excuse for me to touch your chest.
Okay, 12 works.
Rove, you're nominated as well tonight as Better Man, of course. Who do you think's more nervous, you or Robbie?
Okay, so you don't know this, but I'm nominated tonight as well. So it's not just about you. Calm down.
Yeah, but have you got all of them like I have? Go on. Sorry. What you nominated?
A stand-up special. That's not
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good. Out of the two of us, who's more nervous?
I am so frayed from the flight and promo, and my inner dialogue is so complicated right now. I'm less nervous about the show and the awards, but for my sanity. So I think I think you're more nervous than I am.
I got one shot at this. You've got like 16 categories?
Okay, so how many have you won in general? Have you won one before?
Not one of these, no.
Oh, right, okay, this is a biggie.
This is it.
What does the award itself look like?
It looks like an Oscar that's doing like a sassy pose.
Yes.
It looks like that, you idiot. Look behind you.
But does it change, or is
No,
it
it
always
doesn't
that? Okay, is he, she, they, them?
They, them.
Are they called something?
No, no one's come up with one yet. Would you like to call it something?
We should give it Dave.
And the Dave goes to Robbie Williams.
Oh, I like it.
Here's a question for you. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying you have duetted with Aussies before. Kylie, Nicole, would you consider a duet with tonight's host, Russell Crowe?
Absolutely. 600 tons of grunt. Yeah, that would be absolutely wonderful. I mean, I've never met him. I know that
he's a lovable bear of a man.
I'm kind of terrified by him.
That's good.
Yeah,
you should be.
And I will pay deference to him.
Yeah.
And I won't do any sort of movements or be irreverent or try to be funny in any way, and just give normal answers to anything he may or may not ask, because he's terrifying. But I love him.
And Robbie, Russell also smells like gravy.
Yeah, I bet he does, but for other reasons.
Expensive gravy. Really good gravy, though.
Okay, the best.
Yeah, Russell would never go with the cheap gravy. There's a movie nominated tonight up against you that is about gravy.
Yeah, well, that sucks for them to be nominated against me.
We should point out, Robbie, not only is he nominated, and that's enough to brown your trow anyway, you're performing. And for anyone who's seen the film, that brings its own level of terrifiedness for you.
What, to perform? Yeah. No, I know nearly all the words, so it's completely fine. I should do by now. It's my hit, Angels, or in America, as they say, I really love your song, Angel. No, you don't, because it's got an S on it.
No such song.
No, I'm good. Look, this is Australia. You can relax here. I mean, I am so far so good. I'm not anxious. Feel the vibe, feel the energy.
Vibe.
Everybody's just chilled. There's no BS here. We're good.
Rove, let's just pretend that you and Robbie, we're seeing into the future. You've both won a Dave. What do?
We make out.
Go for it!
I just wanted to do that.
That was going to happen. We knew that was going to happen.
That was beautiful.
Two performing monkeys, that's us.
Honestly, we'll do anything for laughs or attention. That's the biography title sorted out.
I'll get my pants off, whatever's required.
Guys,
all right,
things are steaming up.
Wait till the after party kicks in.
Yes.
Wow.
Woo.
Wow.
Well, Rove, Robbie,
We'll
good
show each
luck.
other our Daves and away we go.
Chookers for tonight. Chookers for tonight.
No, I'll be fine apparently. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. But good luck to you.
Guys,
okay, let's go.
Beautiful.
You can catch the awards up next on Channel 10 to see how that ends.
Now, here, I have another thought bubble for you both. I need your help with.
Okay.
If there's a tradie at your place, do you offer them a cuppa or a cold drink? Because that's what a British woman living in Brisbane asked the internet after her offer of tea or coffee was turned down. Most people agree, always offer, especially something cool on a hot day. One tradie says that while they may not always accept, it's always appreciated.
Yeah, look, this is how it works. You offer and they say no thanks, and then you have to be like, no, I'm putting the kettle on, don't worry. And then they say no thanks, and you're like, honestly, I'm making myself one. And then they say no thanks, and then you do that for half an hour, and then they charge you for it.
Yeah. So it's the expensive tradie dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I like it.
Is it half an hour? Do you think that's the cut-off?
I'm joking, but I think. Of course you got to offer.
You do.
Sometimes they're coming in thirsty.
Yeah.
And I've always got home-baked cookies. Don't worry about me. Put a plate of cookies out. Yes.
Well, cannot you give
but
them
you
to
just
me?
put them down and then you back away.
So
and
you
then
don't lose
come
it
back
up.
later and you see if they were eaten. It's just like Santa Claus.
I put out beer.
Do you?
Really? For the tradies?
Yeah, you always
But
give a
hang on, but
tradie
they
a
have
beer.
to- but they need focus.
Well,
And they need to be like straight lines
I
and
don't
things.
give them beer in the morning, Georgie. You always give them beer in the
When
afternoon.
are your tradies visiting?
Every day.
Pardon me. Now, can I just say, it is an honour to work with two professionals such as the two of you, Liz and Georgie.
Yeah.
But I was watching UK television this morning and I saw the most incredible work from the presenters who were able to, just that, the serious nod, no matter what their guests threw at them, like, for example, orgasming during childbirth.
So he was doing some nipple stimulation and I was stimulating my intimate parts. And
Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Just so
impressive.
straight-faced. Look, I can test you if you want to see if you can do it too.
Yeah, hells yeah.
Ready? All right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Liz. I found it hard to orgasm during childbirth because of the sound of my husband complaining that the aircon in the birthing suite made it too cold to sleep.
I'm a failure.
You nailed it. Okay. All right, Georgie, that was very good. Georgie, when the obstetrician was finished doing the stitches, he said to me, some women attempted to get a mirror and have a look down there. And then he said...
Did we pass?
So fine. But I like your reactions better.
You're crying.
I know, I feel like I know so much more about Claire Hooper than I might have needed to know. But that was great. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for your vulnerability.
That's good.
It's time for a break.
Yeah.
This is the project. Welcome back.
And a team of Italian scientists think the best way to cook the perfect boiled egg is a technique that takes 32 minutes. The periodic method involves cycling an egg every 2 minutes from boiling water, then putting that into a bowl of about 30-degree water. They say it solves the problem of undercooked whites or overcooked yolks. What?
Well, that is a very big hourglass, isn't it? That's so... If you've got 32 minutes, you're not going to boil an egg. You'll make something proper to eat, won't you? You're like, yeah, I'll cook up a pasta as you.
That I love, yeah.
So true. It's a franchise that has rained our screens on thinking about the eggs for more than 2 decades, which that would also be a long time to cook an egg for. Now, NCIS Sydney has returned for its second season and it's a nail-biter.
Don't make me ask again, Colonel. Answer the damn phone.
JD, we clear?
That's not supposed to happen, is it? Get up! Get up, now! On your feet. Now, Colonel.
Lidocaine syringe in my kit and call the paramedics.
Come on, you're not buying this, are you? He's faking.
It's very hard to make your heart stop beating if it doesn't want to.
We're already talking. We're giving it away. The heart-stopping duo is here now. Would you please welcome the stars of Guys, this show looks like so much fun to work on, is it?
Yes.
It's
like... Yeah, that's a simple answer, yes.
It's actually the dream. I feel like I'm always saying the cliche response of like, it's the dream job, you know, but honestly, we've become like a family.
Really?
It's unbelievable.
But it's so it's a fun show to work on, you know, it's family making, but it also has some very intense storylines and was a massive hit. Like, what can we expect from season 2?
Season 2, I think, just ramps everything up. So all of that, the drama, the action, the family vibes, the chemistry, the heart, it just...
Look at all this.
Yeah, look at this. I mean...
Oh, and Darwin.
Darwin.
You
go to Darwin.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yes.
So we're going to Darwin. We went there for 3 weeks and it was insane. Like, not just the climate, the environment, but also the apex predators everywhere. And we're shooting near the mangroves and we had like crop wranglers. So I'd be shooting and there'd be a crop wrangler guy with a pole next to me, just out of the frame like this, just in case one launches out.
Is a pole adequate, do you think?
That's all they had. I said, "Do you guys have guns?" And he's like, "No, just this will be fine."
You're very trusting.
Primitive technology there. You do so much sprinting. How many takes do you have to do?
Yeah. Probably too many for my skill set and fitness, but we try.
There was that shot I've seen in one of the trailers where I'm running with like a yellow vest.
Yes.
And we did that about 20 times and I was gassed.
Yeah.
And I had to catch up to you as well. I was like, slow down, Olivia.
I was getting slower each take.
Yeah.
Just a quick walk
Just to
by the
let me
end.
catch up.
So you're dealing with, crocodiles and their handlers with the poles, but so much of this is shot in and around Sydney too. Do you find do people stop and watch? Like, I'm so interested for when you are filming on location. Are people well behaved or are they heckling when you're doing scenes?
Heckling, not so much. A lot of people recognise Todd, obviously.
Of course.
So he gets a lot of attention.
Still the home and away days. Yeah, Aiden. I still turn to Aiden. If someone yells Aiden, even if they're not talking to me, I'll just instinctively turn around.
Do you take, and if there's a coffee, the barista's like Aiden, you're like, yeah, that's good.
I'll just grab both.
Thanks, I'll take that. So do you
thanks.
think there's the opportunity to have like NCIS Summer Bay?
Ooh.
I know.
You know what?
Yes. Tell them it was
depending
Marty.
on how season 2 goes, you know what I mean? Depends how the numbers
Right,
are.
so
We can maybe pitch it.
NCIS Darwin.
Yes.
Like Sydney, Darwin,
Yeah.
maybe Wollongong as well, and then Summer Bay.
Newcastle, because that's where I'm from. We're doing
Yes.
NCIS Newcastle.
I mean, that would look amazing if you could get there. I think it would look beautiful.
There you go.
Can I come?
Yeah, well, I can invite you. Have
be
to
in
be
it.
there.
Great.
I mean, can we get written in? It sounds like we will have to come.
I heard you have an NCIS hat.
I do have an NCIS. Oh my God, I've got the Sydney cap, and it's one of my prized possessions. Like, if there was a fire, it's the first thing I'm saving.
Correct.
Not even
Wow,
kidding.
she's
Correct. Yeah.
We'll organise
I
it.
also have a
Not the
fiance, but
pet.
anyway.
So, Olivia, as a Brit playing an American, how is your Aussie slang? Do you know what we're talking about when we say like NCIS the gong?
Like Wollongong?
Oh, yeah, she's got it.
Yeah, oh my God.
I'm thrilled with that. Yes. Okay, great. What else have I learned? I've learned hectic is a pretty big one. Arvo, Evo, Servo.
Yes.
She'll be right is one as
Yeah,
well.
totes.
Yeah.
Totes.
Yeah.
There's stuff.
Are you in charge of teaching, Olivia, these kinds of
Yeah,
things?
I mean, I feel like I just do a lot of just random chatter anyway. So she's like,
talk
what
a
are you
lot,
saying?
so I just take it all in.
Yeah. You just said, what? Say that word again, and
What
just
was
correct her on that. So.
I've translated.
Yeah.
And look, I don't want you to spoil the season, but will there be an episode on the mysterious balls that washed up on the beach?
Good. Yes.
Yes.
I feel like.
Wow.
Please.
I
did hear about that.
Yeah, some mysteries are not meant to be solved. I feel. So we should just leave that alone.
Do a taste test on that.
Yeah.
Because did it end up being fecal matter?
It did.
Oh, that's good.
It did. And there was lots of people that's been like, oh my God, look at this little seaweed bead. Don't touch it.
Yeah,
Don't touch
and
it.
for goodness sake, don't eat it. Okay, but we're not spoiling anything. So, NCIS Sydney Season 2 is now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus in Australia. Olivia Swan and Todd Lasantz, everybody. Thank you.